You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast on the We Are Libertarians Network. I'm your host, Jeremiah Morrill, and as always, I'm joined by our co-host, Dakota Davis.
What's up, Jeremiah?
Man, episode 69.
Yeah.
Already.
69. It
69.
feels like we just did like 66 or 67.
I know. I don't even
like
remember 67 or 68
Me either,
at this
man.
point.
Yep. Ooh.
I don't know. It just goes so quick. This is our show about our lives in rural Indiana. It's a show about folks who are involved in politics. We promise that our episodes are going to be a fun and an easy listen. We interview people who are influencers, elected officials, political experts, and folks we just find interesting. Dakota, what do we got going on, man? I want to sneeze, so you're going to take over for a second.
What do we got
guide
going
the show?
on?
Yeah, what's been going on with our lives? This is the time of the show where we talk about what's up.
We had the Henry County royal wedding. Yeah.
Yes.
The Henry County royal wedding happened between you and Sarah Morrill.
Yes, the lovely Sarah Elizabeth Potter Morrill.
Yeah. And then
She's taking your name?
Yes.
That
was a condition of the contract.
If you get divorced, it's going to be really hard to put. You got to think ahead.
I'm not getting divorced. Did you plan ahead for divorce, Mark?
Oh, yeah. I was married twice before I was 30, yeah. You keep those names separate. So much easier.
Same lady?
Married twice the same? No,
Yeah.
of course not.
You started over.
No.
Quitter.
So I kept my last name, though. Wait. I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then you went on a honeymoon.
Yes.
And
Well, it's underway, right?
Yeah.
So
Still on the honeymoon.
this morning I was in Cozumel, Mexico, and I said, "Babe, I've got a show to do, so I will get off the boat with you in port, and I'm just going to zip over here to the airport, and it's an easy flight from Cozumel to Houston back to Indy. I'll go get the car, run over to the studio. I got to the studio at 6:30, like we always do. We're going to do the show. We had this little problem with the cameras, and it's taken a while to get loaded up, so I don't know how that's going to work. We'll be done here about an hour and a half. I'll get back to the airport, catch the last flight out of town, get to Texas, and I'll catch the boat before they leave port. So that's perfect.
Right. Yeah, you even have your Cozumel, Mexico shirt
Yeah,
on.
we're set. I got it. It's brand new. Just got it today, and it was pre-washed.
It's pre-washed?
Pre-washed.
Pre-washed.
Yes, I paid extra. It was 14 pesos to get it.
14
washed.
pesos. That's like $3 American.
No, it's like 2 cents. I think. I don't know. They were fast talkers.
Oh, you don't really know what it was.
No.
The people at the exchange booth didn't speak English, so they just give you whatever, right?
Conveniently, they just take your card and they convert it for you. So
Huh? That sounds pretty good. And then I guess
it's like buying gas at the at an east side Newcastle gas station. Oh, have you ever used the Phillips 66? I mean, this is going to be throwing rocks at local businesses. We're looking for sponsors, by the way. Have you ever used the gas station at the Phillips 66 at Indiana Avenue and 103?
No, I don't think I have.
It was everything that could possibly go wrong. The last time I tried to fill up over there went wrong. You know, you pull up and like 3 of the gas pumps don't work at all, and then you pull up to one and the card swipe machine won't work. And you're like, oh, they definitely just took my credit card information.
I really expected more out of Philip.
Yeah, I don't know. Philip 1 through 65 might be fine, but that 66 one over there off Indiana Avenue,
Number 66 isn't
not
good.
not looking good.
Mark Brim.
That's a new place, right? Is it new? I remember there used to be a big gas station there. It said Barney's in big letters. Is that?
Barney's was at. Oh, man.
Or am I thinking of something else?
You're thinking of at State Road 3. Mark lives in the past.
I do.
State Road 3 and Broad Street had the Barney's back in the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah, when you were just a middle-aged person.
Right.
Right.
See, I came through Newcastle recently. I'm not going to rip a local business like you did.
Not. No.
But I came here with the kids because it was 112 degrees outside. So I came here with the kids, and we went to your new McDonald's. Has a playland in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice place. And then I'm heading out of town. Never come to Newcastle, and I see this little market. It looks cute. It looks nice. It has a sign on the front with like produce on it, and it says Fresh Market. And I say, wow, this is a fresh market. So I stop. It's just a regular grocery store.
It didn't say L&K Farms produce stand?
No, it was just a grocery store. I was very upset by this.
Did it say Harvest?
Harvest? I think it did say Harvest.
Fresh,
Oh, yeah,
fresh harvest.
Fresh harvest.
market?
Yeah. I thought, well, I'm going to go inside and get some fresh harvest. I'm going to get some local honey, perhaps. It's just a grocery store.
They have their own butcher, though.
Oh.
I hear that the Harvest Market has the second best beef in town.
So then I walk inside and I say, well, now what am I going to get? This is a regular grocery store. So I look around and the kids are out in the car and I thought, well, I'll get some Tootsie Pops. That sounds nice. So I get some Tootsie Pops and I go, and the woman says, was there a price on this? I said, I don't know. And she said, well, she said, hold on, I'll go check. And then she goes and checks. She said, there are no prices on the Tootsie Pops. And we stare at each other for a second. She said, is about $3.85 fair? Hell no, that's not fair. It's like $1 for some Tootsie Pops.
Oh, my gosh. $3.85?
She said, is $3.85? She just pulled this number out of thin air.
Yeah, where does the 85 come from?
I have no clue.
I would at least...
And I didn't know what to say, so I said, sure. And so I go outside, and I have this bag with 4 Tootsie Pops in it. I said, this costs $3.85. My wife said, why'd you pay $3? I said, because she just made it up.
It was a negotiation, and you're a piss-poor negotiator, Mark.
So, harvest. There was no harvesting happening there.
The Harvest Market. They were harvesting.
I took my kids inside. I said, now, this is what grocery stores look like when your dad was a kid.
It should be called Hustler Market. Hustle. That's what they did.
Oh, my gosh. So the reason I asked Mark on the show, first of all, he was one of our, I don't know why, but he was one of our highest downloaded episodes we ever had back last year.
That was insulting, Mark.
Yeah, well.
Really? You're lying.
No, you were. You did very well. For the time, you did very well. So watching the chat here, 92 Dakota HD, which is not Dakota Davis. It's next door neighbor. It says it was BP for a bit, the Phillips 66.
Oh.
Before that, I remember it when it opened, it was like co-op. It was Countryland Co-op or a local. It was a co-op type.
Oh.
So anyway, it's a gas station that's passed hands a few times.
Do you have any manual pumps left? Or not manual pumps. Do you have any old-fashioned pumps left here in Newcastle?
Old-fashioned pumps. Not in Newcastle.
At the speedway down the street, we have the kind where you have to flip up the handle thingy.
There's a decorative glass type gas station, with the old glass ball down in Knightstown on 40 on the old National Road.
Ooh.
That's in Henry County.
Stop there.
And then when I was a kid in Moreland, Mick's Sunoco used to have he would flip it up, and it'd be the old style pumps, cash only, and Mick himself would fuel for you.
Nice.
That's the last one that I can remember, but that's probably been gone since the mid-90s, late 90s.
You're getting old yourself.
I know. Wow. It was time to get married. 35
If
now.
I could take this back with your wedding.
Yes.
Was it big?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. What's big? How many people were at your wedding, Mark? This the most current one.
The most current one?
Yeah.
It was
or any of them. What was your high water mark? Most people that ever wanted to come to Mark's wedding.
Okay, so my wife and I, or girlfriend at the time, or whatever you want to call it, we
fiancé.
Fiancé.
You don't
I guess.
say.
We don't really have any of that fiancé stuff. We rode our bikes from my house down to 5th Street Bagel Shop. I'm talking Richmond. You may not know what I'm talking about here.
I can imagine the streets go you have at least 5 streets, so it's 1 through 5,
right.
And then there's a bagel shop.
You got it. There's a bagel shop.
Okay.
So we had some coffee, and we said, son of a bitch, how about we get married? So we were like, maybe, She said, maybe, And so we went to the courthouse, and we got papers, and then we rode over to my friend's house, and he was fixing his motorcycle, and he's ordained to the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, or something like that. And I said, will you marry us? And he said, I'm sure. And he kind of looked at us and said, well, don't be dicks to each other.
That was the advice?
Yeah, that was just his sermon.
Has she lived up to it?
No, she's a dick. And, but so am I. And so we signed the papers, and that was it.
All right.
Yeah, that was the wedding.
So
it cost nothing.
There was 3 of you.
There was 3 of us.
Yeah. All right, let's go around the room. Kade, how many people were at your wedding?
Probably 40.
40.
Yeah, small church, just nothing real crazy. Had a nice little reception at Montgomery's.
A fine place for such an event.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dakota, yours is about 120 or so?
Yeah, right around there. Would have been more, but Cade and Jade decided not to show up.
Could have been 122. Yeah, it was.
And yours?
So for mine, it was very hot. It's a July wedding, so it was obviously hot. I hope people got pictures early because I had my pits, 10 minutes in, the suit was gone. Just had to start shredding parts of the suit or getting rid of them. So I'd say 250, 300, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Did you pay for this? Was this out of your pocket? Did you feed a bunch of people?
We're very traditional.
Oh, really?
Very traditional.
Her family.
The lovely Potter family.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I had my costs too.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the specifics of it, and
you're not going to give me some numbers.
Open up for a federal audit, but
he had to pay for the goat that we ended up.
Yeah, the goat we sacrificed. So there were a lot of things I wanted to have done, and we raised goats growing up. So towards the end of the ceremony, between pictures, we did sacrifice one weather boar goat, and then
really,
yeah, and then at the 1 year anniversary, we'll serve the meat until it comes back.
Really, this is real.
Yeah,
you did this.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, the priest cut its throat.
Really,
he showered the blood on Sarah.
So this is good.
You say priest, but we had Judge Bell, so unfortunately Susan did it.
Susan's a priest, but no one's supposed to know.
It's just a lot of money, and I'm sure this is for the rest of you. It was fine.
I mean, street value of a goat is a couple $100.
My cousin got married to a Catholic church, and he said, "Will you be one of my groomsmen?" I said, "I'm honored to be your groomsman." I didn't want to be his groomsman, and he said, "Okay." He said, "Now the tuxes are at whatever the place was." He said, "It'll be $248." $248 I spent for that tux.
Man,
yeah.
Mine was my tux was like $185.
Still
to rent it. I didn't get to buy it. Had to go back in a box and get shipped back. We used the black tux. This is not a paid. Basically, for Dakota's wedding, I was in Dakota's wedding. There's a little story about how that one went down. I've been trying to slim down. So when I got measured for Dakota's wedding in August of last year, about 11 months ago, I was in a 58 jacket. 58. When I got to Dakota's wedding and the tux showed up, we were at a 56. And then when they sent me another 56 this time for my wedding, it was falling off of me. So nice. I had to go with a 52 regular. Which was cool. That's
yeah.
But the people just keep sending you stuff. Anytime something's wrong, they just send you more suits. So I could have. But Kevin, my father-in-law, he had 4 suits by the time it was done.
Really,
ready to go. Yeah. So we could have outfitted like an entire team of ushers, and then I had an extra suit too. The greatest thing I thought we could have done, and I didn't do it, but I should have, is I've got a buddy that's about my size, just a little bigger, and I got that extra suit. I was like, I should have had my buddy Jason dress up in the suit and just stand there as an extra groomsman. And be like, no, it was always Nick, Dakota, Danny, and Jason. I don't know why you don't have a 4th bridesmaid, Sarah. That's really on you. I don't know why she didn't do it.
Ooh, wow.
But I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
But deep down, I had that thought, and I just like to know that I could do that sort of thing, Kate, if I'm capable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I was right not to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would have been bad.
You have good morals.
Yeah, very high morals.
You'll find other ways to disappoint him.
So Mark is here, and I wanted to play this game or explore something with Mark. He literally looks like he belongs in 1978, right? Like,
look at his shirt. Yeah. Look at the collar on that thing.
He's got the long collar. He came in here wearing his aviators, and they're not. The thing about Mark is he's truly. This is him. He's not playing a character. There's no game here about him. He truly just looks like he should have been born 45 years earlier.
I disagree, but I can follow what you're saying.
So there's this line of hipsterism that we...
You accused me of being a hipster.
This is the thing, is you're not...
The other day, and I said, hell no.
You're not... Well, this is what we're going to debate.
Okay.
Because there's the Mark Brim timeline of what Mark Brim is.
Okay.
All right? So as I'm going to draw this... I'm going to draw this out for the people that are watching the video. And it's constant, right?
I see what you're saying.
Mark Brim just is the same guy always. He's always going across, even line, straight across the world. And then the hipsters are always changing. And what the hipsters think are cool and rotates, and it's on a trajectory. We've arrived in 2018, and all of a sudden the hipsters are running around with their aviator glasses. Their sideburns are coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're really aviators.
Okay, well, they're the glasses Mark has are considered to be acceptable now.
They are.
I always I like orange glasses because you can, the clouds. You can really see the clouds really nicely in them.
Mark has the Pat Riley slick back hair of sorts.
I have the.
He's got the sideburns.
Slicked back. It's just
it's wind blowing in the front.
Back. It's
falling. Then you wear the I don't know. You wear a lot of plaid. Or
maybe.
Yeah.
I always wear a button-up shirt.
I
don't feel comfortable. I have I don't know, maybe you'd call it a sensory issue.
Are you hiding tattoos?
I can't wear...
Are you hiding tattoos? Is that the problem?
Maybe.
That's why you get the long sleeve?
I just can't wear short-sleeve shirts.
Yeah. Mark's got the chest hair showing off.
Yeah.
And then he's got the big collar.
You really
picked up
need
on
to grow out a mustache, Mark. I really think so.
I try. I didn't try. I was at my father-in-law's farm last week. Shaving wasn't really an option, and it doesn't work on me. You saw my tractor video.
Yeah. I really
work.
think you
It
could
didn't
pull
work.
off a mustache. I think you have the right.
That was 5 days in. I looked.
You have the right facial structure for a mustache, I think.
I just don't think it didn't pull. It just didn't happen.
All right.
It didn't happen.
But to settle it once and for all,
Yeah.
we have a quiz
Okay.
for you
Okay.
to determine whether or not you are a hipster.
The results from this will
Are
define. I will
concrete.
find it. They are okay.
They're
There's
concrete,
no going back. Okay.
written in stone
Written in stone.
for all time.
Okay.
All right, question number 1.
Yes.
What
This
city?
is a 10-question quiz.
Yep.
10
What
questions.
city do you most want to visit? San Francisco, Omaha, Moscow, or Atlanta?
Golly.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, would you leave the country?
Mm-hmm.
You would.
Okay.
All right.
If I had to choose, I guess I'd say San Francisco because I've never been to California
All
before.
right, San
Yeah.
Francisco. We're
That-
going to lock that
That
question
feels
in.
pretty hipsterish, just
Is
to
that
start.
It's just I've been to Atlanta.
It just feels that way.
Sort of to Atlanta.
Oh.
All right. Ooh, this is a good one. I'm going to say a hard P in the second one.
All right.
Okay. What is your favorite condiment? Catsup, spelled like catsup. Gray poop on.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Sriracha sauce. Or ketchup.
I would say I use probably on my popcorn. I use sriracha a lot.
I like
Yeah.
sriracha too.
He is a hipster. He really is.
I
Is that,
really
that
like-
is that a hipster?
Yeah.
I just like sriracha on my popcorn.
I like sriracha on anything.
All right, your favorite color?
Green, blue, brown, or red.
Ooh, it's a toss up between green or red. I'll go green.
You want to phone a friend?
Call Cade. Hey, Cade, you've known me for 5 minutes.
What do you think, green or red?
What was my
I'm going to
favorite
go with
color?
green. I'd
Green,
go with green.
yeah.
All right.
Your favorite sport?
Yep.
Bitch, please. Frolf, the orchestra, wrestling, or rowing?
Frolf is frisbee golf. In case you didn't know.
Can I hear those again?
Yes, your favorite sport. Bitch, please.
What?
Bitch, please.
That's a sport?
No,
No, it's like,
it's as in
Do
like
you have
you
a
don't
favorite
watch
sport?
sports.
no. Frisbee golf,
Yeah.
orchestra,
Mm.
wrestling, rowing.
I don't like any of those things. Orchestra, I guess. I don't row. I don't do
Orchestra.
maybe, like to listen to one or to play in an orchestra.
I'm locking orchestra in. Let's see. What's your favorite subject?
Because I can't play an instrument.
Physical education, apathy, government, music, or science?
Apathy.
Apathy?
Apathy.
Huh.
We're talking like study hall, sleeping through study hall, right?
Yeah.
We're talking, yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite country is Kyrgyzstan, the Maldives.
Maldives.
I think it's Maldives.
Nah, it's
I'm
dive.
pretty sure I watched a
Maldives.
NAS Daily video.
It's a hard dive.
The United States or Tuvalu. I don't know what that is.
I'm not incredibly worldly. I did go to Iceland last year. That's
You went to Iceland?
I can say
That's
that. Does that sound pretentious?
What's your favorite country?
Have you
man?
ever had a puffin omelet? I
No.
don't know. Is that a thing? I'll say U.S. I guess. I don't.
The United States.
Sure.
I don't think that was very
Yeah.
hipstery. That was too patriotic.
Yeah.
Tuvalu was formerly the Ellis Islands. It's a Polynesian
Oh,
nation,
okay.
for the record.
Your favorite pop star?
Uh,
I don't know any of these names.
Niall Horan, Liam Payne, Louis Tomlinson, Zayn Malik, or Harry Styles.
I have no clue who any of those people are.
I don't either. I think I know who
Did you say
Zayn
Lily
Malik-
Tomlin?
Yes, Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, she was great in The West Wing.
Yeah. Yeah. She was in 9 to 5, right?
She's
Yeah.
not on the list, though.
Working
Oh,
9.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
great. Mhm.
Once
I
again,
don't know.
9 to 5 came out in 1981, so it's right in your wheelhouse.
I think 1980.
You think so? So we got to look that up now.
Yeah, pick a name. Pick a name. Neil?
I'll
Liam?
let you go ahead. You take that
It
one.
was 1980.
I'm going to say Liam.
All right.
Liam Payne, because it sounds like a pretty cool name.
It does.
All right. What was the season you were born in?
I can answer this.
Fall/winter. Winter. Summer, spring.
Fall/winter.
Fall. All right. I don't know about this quiz anymore. You wear size 8 shoes, like hamburgers, have hazel eyes, or have a tattoo.
I mean, I guess I like hamburgers.
Okay. You don't have hazel eyes. You have brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Now somebody can steal his identity when they have. That's the last piece of information they needed.
That's all they need to know.
What color are your eyes?
Ooh, this is a good question. Question number 10, the final one.
All
is,
right. Let's do
you
this.
are taking this quiz because you think you're a hipster, you want to be a hipster, you are bored as hell, or because your friends call you a hipster but you deny it.
We'll go with the last one.
All right,
That means
test
we're
results.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
Test results. I couldn't do
Here
it.
we go.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. You have answered.
What? What?
Could you be less hip?
Yeah.
You answered 3 of them as a hipster.
Really?
So apparently I'm wrong. You are not a hipster.
I'm not a hipster.
You're
there we
just
go.
truly Mark Brim.
There we go.
Wow.
Man, I did not expect that to be the case.
I wasn't
A lot of
expecting
this
it
was
either.
based on my ignorance.
Yeah, which is fine because if you were a hipster, you would have actually known. I think
Right.
you would have said yes to the tattoo,
Uh-huh.
and you probably would have answered differently to the artist.
Mhm.
And I don't. Yeah,
The reason I'm not a hipster is because of these things I'm ignorant toward. Like, I like coffee.
right. Coffee
Coffee.
wasn't an option.
But I just like coffee. I don't care
Right.
what it is. Meyer brand coffee. People talking about coffee piss me off. I like Coors Light, but if someone's like, "Oh, I found this. There's this nice IPA," shut the hell up. So hipsters like to do that. They
Yeah.
like to talk about beer.
You,
They like to talk
you,
about-
you, to me, you seem like the perfect Aldi shopper
Uh-huh.
because you don't want 14 different kinds of coffee.
Right.
You want to go to the aisle and buy. Yeah, I need a can of tomatoes, so I bought a can of tomatoes.
Let me tell you who my hero is.
Okay.
I will tell you who my hero is. I went to about 15 years ago on the east side of Richmond. A new Speedway gas station opened up. This is the second time we've talked about gas stations tonight.
Yes.
New Speedway Mini Mart, cappuccino. You walk inside, big aisles, and it was huge, and there was sandwiches, and it was grand opening, and this was a big deal, and the gas was cheaper there, and freezer aisles. It was amazing walk-in giant Mini Mart, and there's a guy, I don't know the guy's name, but he's my hero, probably 85. He walks in, stands about 10 feet from the counter, and says, "You got a can of 7-Up in here?"
Doesn't want to look.
Doesn't want to look. He's just
serve
wanting
me.
someone to, just go get him a can of 7-Up. I love that guy. I don't know who he is. That's my hero.
I love that guy.
He wants the can. He doesn't want to use
He doesn't
the
want
roofer
anything.
machine.
He doesn't want. There's every selection possible. He's not going to look at it.
Now-
He just wants a 7-Up.
When he gets the can and they charge him $3.42
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah. $3.85
Yeah, $3.85.
off the top of my head.
Is he gonna flip his shit and leave, or is he gonna pay it?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Because I feel like that guy's gonna fight.
That guy will fight it. Yeah, I probably.
That's why you'll
would.
never be that guy, Mark.
Damn.
So you, when you vacation,
Uh-huh.
what do you do? Where do you go? What is vacation for Mark Brim?
How selfless is it? The man who flew in from Mexico
Yeah,
is
I
asking
wanna know
about
about-
my
I wanna know
piddly
about your
vacation,
vacation.
because you just did something amazing,
Oh,
and what I have
the
done.
best
was
part is
not
I didn't
amazing.
sunburn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
look at
amazing.
that.
Well, you have
look
dark
like-
features. You just tan nicely.
Yeah.
yeah.
You should see me with my shirt off.
I'd like
That
to.
part's not tan.
It's an all-over tan.
No, it's very much the Kade Koger farmer tan.
Kade Koger doesn't have a farmer's tan because he's a fake farmer.
It's a fake farmer tan.
You're not
Not
a real
real.
farmer. I thought. Aren't you giving an ag report on this list?
I'm just gonna.
Eventually, if we ever get there.
Yeah.
If we ever talk about the trip that you took to a farm.
Okay, so I went to a. Are you a farmer?
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, my most recent vacation was our yearly vacation to my father-in-law's farm. That's
Does
all
he,
I have
does he
to
live
say.
like up in Markle or something?
He lives outside. He lives in Garrettson, South Dakota. It's
South
15 hours away. 15 hours.
So
Imagine
you-
a Subaru with 2 small kids, a dog, my wife, and myself.
You took the dog with
15.
you?
Oh yeah,
I
because we're
wouldn't have
gone
done
for
that.
like a week and a half.
I would have made Jeremiah watch mine.
Well, my dog Walter, he gets kind of sad.
You've been watching my dogs, right? I know I was gone for a few days. I'm just hoping.
Yeah, they're out there.
Garth and Riley are okay.
They're out there. Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
I would look into that further.
Mark, I got a plane to catch. Dakota will take care of anything that may have gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So
we took the dog.
So South Dakota.
Yeah, that's where his farm is. And
so did you see Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills and all that stuff, or what?
Nothing. This is right on the edge of Minnesota.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it just gets cold there. There's nothing cool to look at.
So were you there?
Sloping terrain.
Were you there whenever Kim Jong-un attacked Mount Rushmore last week?
I was. It was scary.
Wow. Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah. That was unfortunate.
I haven't seen much of South Dakota. No, that part of it is really all I've seen.
You just go in. It's a surgical strike. You go to that part.
We go there and we visit her.
What's your favorite store?
We'll branch out sometime.
What's your favorite store in South Dakota?
Well, I only go to Garrett's in South Dakota, so my favorite store is right on Main Street. And incidentally, my father-in-law is an organic farmer. Back when, if you said that, people would say, "What the hell does that mean?" He's like the first, probably in the world. I just made that up.
Is it just because that's how he's always farmed?
That's how he's always farmed.
Yeah.
I mean, purposely organic, but yeah, it's before now it's a cool thing. But yeah, he's always done that. Grass-fed beef, and we carry a big tub of it back home, and so yeah.
My favorite carry a tub,
very hipster.
A tub. We put it in a.
Oh, it's all organic grass-fed.
It just gets lukewarm.
It does because we put it in a cooler.
Hours.
Yeah, we put it in a cooler, and then it does get lukewarm.
How do you keep the dog out of that? How do you keep Walter from eating all
very
of it?
disciplined? He does get a little, he kind of starts smelling, but
so Garrettson is in Minnehaha County, South Dakota.
Yeah,
Minnehaha.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm a county councilman in Minnehaha.
Population 1,100, I believe.
1201 in 2015.
Oh,
they may have updated the sign. I don't know. Yeah, it's at 1,500 feet. So you're looking down on the people of Henry County. We're at about 1,000 feet here. Of course, you're from Wayne County, the highest point in the state of Indiana.
Incidentally, I'm from exactly the highest point in Indiana. I grew up in Whitewater, which is just outside of Bethel, where the highest point is. And the biggest problem there is that sign is always stolen because they always take that sign, highest point in Indiana. Nice. But yeah, my favorite store in South Dakota is the only store I've really been to, which is the Treasure Chest right there on Main Street in Garrettson. We went there to get some sweatshirts. They were closed. We went there.
Did you throw a rock through the window and stimulate the economy and go get some sweatshirts?
Everything. And someone walks up and says, "Oh, we'll call them. They'll open it for you." And then someone walks down and opens the store for us.
Special.
Yeah, very special.
Because, hey guys, I know it's a Thursday, but the tourists are in town and they need to come in.
And their grocery store is right on the main street, and it's probably about half the size of your Harvest Market.
Do they have plenty of 7-Up?
They have 7-Up and Tootsie Pops, reasonably priced.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is very important.
And they have South Dakota grass-fed beef.
So
I think, maybe not. I don't know.
Are you familiar with the Sinclair gas station?
Yes, lots of Sinclairs.
Yeah, but that's
and
not one of
Golf.
your favorites. You don't like that. Golf, yeah.
Yeah.
That dinosaur, man. I don't know. I just know I'm in the West when I see the Sinclair.
No, you know
Unless
what I
I
want
go
to
to
see?
Greensburg. There's one in Greensburg, Indiana.
I missed the ball. I should try that again. I was getting ready to say I missed the balls, but that didn't. I missed the 76 balls. Remember the big 7? Where the hell are those at?
I think they're gone. Maybe in racing, they used to have the 76 ball. They were like a big lookout tower at racetracks.
Yeah.
And now they're all They're all Sunoco.
They're all Sunoco now.
Yeah.
Because all the ones around here or around Richmond, I assume here to the switch to Marathon back in '98. But I miss seeing those big round.
Yeah,
that's what I want to look for.
Oh, write that down as one more thing that's lost to history that Mark misses.
Yeah, 76.
So
and people would put the little 76 ball on their antennas on their cars.
This is your day job. You do videos, right?
I make videos.
You make funny videos on the internet for a university. We don't want to share your employer's name.
He doesn't.
No. Well,
some sort of a liberal arts Quaker school in Wayne County. Is that fair enough?
I'm the marketing videographer at a college, but I won't give the name.
Right. No, we won't do that to you.
But yeah, that's what I do.
Yes. So,
what do you do if, say, a local podcast reaches out and says, "Hey, Mark, using your skills and talents, would you mind taking this audio clip and making a nice video for it so that we can get some reach on YouTube?"
I say, if I'm drunk on a Saturday night, absolutely, and then I forget about it until it is brought up to me.
Until it's in the show notes.
Because you never delivered.
I forgot all about this.
We'll paint the picture.
And I usually charge pretty good for my freelance work, but for you guys?
I mean, listen.
We'll work something out.
You are a former radio star.
Star, yes.
Star.
Yeah.
Kicks 96. This is not a joke. Like, this is legitimately, I know this because...
I'm currently on the radio, but no one hears me.
Right. But you were on a major...
Because I'm on twice a year on the best station in Richmond.
Right.
Yeah. 1013.
You were on 96.1.
I was on that one, too.
Kicks 96, Richmond, Indiana.
Yeah.
Every April 1st.
Every April
1st. There's a picture of Pudgy Mark.
Yeah.
20-year-old Mark.
Yeah.
Maybe 18-year-old Mark. I don't know how old he was.
20 or something, yeah.
It was a glossy.
Pudgy. I was full. I was very full.
There was a lot more
then.
of Mark
There
then.
was more of me.
And it's, I'm here to make the announcement.
Yeah.
I've come to terms, and I will be rejoining Kicks 96. I've known you for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Every single
Almost
year.
7 years.
I know it is April 1st when I wake up and Mark Brim has announced his triumphant return to the radio.
And people buy it.
Every time.
Every time.
And they're so excited for you.
They love it.
So what I'm saying is if you get on the right side of the Boss Hog of Liberty team by following through on the promise that you made, we may be the bridge to getting you actually back on the radio.
Yep. Well, we can make you, Mark, we can make you a co-host on this podcast for the low price of, I don't know, $60 a month. Does that sound fair?
That pays probably a lot more than I earned. Yeah.
No, you have to pay us.
I have to pay you.
Yeah, you pay us.
Like
I pay you $60 a month.
Yeah, I still haven't got paid, so.
Yeah.
This is a break-even business. No, all we're saying is we have this. We pitched this idea of Dakota and I. I went back at one point. I had an idea and then I didn't follow through on it either because things got busy, got engaged and married and all that stuff.
Been married,
sacrificed a goat.
Yeah, there was a whole thing. So, but there was a early July. There was going to be a podcast awards event at PopCon or Gen Con, one of the cons in Indianapolis. And I was like, we're going to pull some audio and try to submit something. So I identified something. I was like, this is really, really funny and good. So I was like, well, if we don't submit it for that, maybe we'll get Mark to take pictures. And it was me. It was the story of Dakota and I when I took him fishing. I've taken Chase fishing countless times in the last couple of months. But Dakota and I had an incident on the river where we nearly went over the waterfall.
Oh.
So and it was an intense account. Between Dakota and I thought maybe you could take pictures and clip art and various scenes from the internet and maybe movies and put them over the audio, so it would just jump cut from
to illustrate what was happening.
Yes,
here.
an illustration of our story and our heroes' triumphant saving.
I tell you how I picture this.
Okay,
stop motion.
What do you claymation? Do you need?
No,
is this going to be like Gumby?
We just do stop motion. We get a toy boat.
Yes.
And we create a waterfall.
Okay.
Yeah. We create this, do the voiceover, match it up.
Well, we have the voiceover. You just take the audio. That's there. And then
it's already there.
All you need is a bathtub and a couple toy boats.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, of doing was...
this is a promise. How drunk are you? Do you need another beer?
Another beer? Well, I always need another beer.
I told you to put a beer in your pocket. Did you put a beer in your pocket?
I did not put I'm fine for now, though. I can make this work.
Okay.
I can plow right through.
Have you ever seen the Casually Explained Facebook page where it has the animations with stick figures over top of a story?
Yes.
That's what I was imagining.
I like that, too.
I wanted stick figure Jeremiah and Dakota in a boat about to go over a waterfall. That's what I wanted. And then Jeremiah triumphantly holding up the little safety key.
Fixing it.
Yeah.
Figuring it out.
And there being a golden glow around it.
We were literally 5 to 10 seconds from abandoned ship, Mark.
Really?
It was.
How did you get out of this?
Well, first of all, you should go back and listen to the episode.
I should listen to that
sent you the link.
Okay. Yeah.
You did. Will you resend that all to me? And then I'll work on it. I'll put it together.
I don't know, Mark. It says on my show notes.
Yeah.
Cannot be trusted.
That is true. But I totally forgot what happened. I was tipsy. And I was at home.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
For your safety, so you don't get hurt. A boat has a little clip you attach to your belt on one end, and then if you get ejected from the boat, if you fly out of the boat, it pulls a cord, and there's a little lever that clip is retained by, and if that lever is dropped down, it's in the open position, the motor will not fire. It'll kill the motor. So if you've got the motor turned off, and you've accidentally flipped that switch down, no matter what you do, no matter how much you choke it, no matter how many times you pump the fuel ball, that motor will not fire, which in the case of an emergency, when you're going to go over a damn waterfall, is a serious problem. So I went through my mental checklist 14 times with Dakota going, I've got to do this, that. And then finally flipped that switch and it fired right up.
I was controlling the trolling motor at the front of the boat.
The water was running so hard. It was not a normal day on the river. It was a high water situation, very intense waterfall. I'm retelling a story that's already in the podcast feed. I apologize for this. But Mark didn't watch, so now here we are. The trolling motor would barely hold our position.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like, it was everything full power, straight ahead. The trolling motor would barely hold your position.
And then
You're losing
as
ground.
we got closer,
we had dropped anchor.
Yeah. As we
And we
got
were still
closer to the
going.
waterfall, the trolling motor did less and less, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very stressful situation, but I knew that I would be okay up at the front of the boat with the trolling motor because I was farthest away than what Jeremiah was, and I could easily jump out, where
If you
Jeremiah
heard-
would have to get up out of the seat.
If you heard Jeremiah splash, you knew you had to go quickly.
I was on a jet ski one time, and I forgot to put the kill switch on my vest.
Yeah.
And the whole point of being on a jet ski is you're trying to throw yourself and whoever's
Yeah.
with you off of the jet ski, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I do.
Yeah.
And so I finally succeeded in throwing myself and my passenger
But you
off,
forgot the kill switch.
and the kill switch wasn't attached to my vest. So I'm in the water, and the jet ski's just doing circles, and I can't swim fast enough to catch it.
So then you've got to rodeo back on.
It's
So
like a shark.
luckily, this guy came by on a boat, and he had his kid jump on it. It was really awesome. The kid jumped on it and rode it back over me. I was like, thanks, man.
A hero.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
I want to
hero.
recreate
It
that
was,
one.
It was scary.
Can we
Well,
combine these to where they happen at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I'm picturing you guys like Western, like there's a waterfall and there's bears eating fish, and you guys are about to go over it.
Yeah. And we're in like a paddle boat with mustaches
Yeah.
and cowboy hats.
Yeah, that's the way that I picture this when I listen to the story.
there's so many ways
Yeah.
this could have gone.
I'm picturing Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
It was more like the great outdoors.
So we've seen a
Gotcha.
couple videos that you made personally here recently because
Yes.
apparently you like some sort of unique trucks.
I like very ununique trucks. I
Mm.
like the 73 to 87 Chevy pickups. There's like 60 billion of them in existence.
The reason I
60
like
billion.
those
Wow.
trucks is because you can get air in through the window
Yep.
and through the floor
Floor vents.
from the outside. You got
Oh,
the
yeah.
floor vents in them.
They're the best of all worlds. They're cheap to maintain. You still get that old truck feeling. They're reliable. They're rugged, and with all of the modern safety features and efficiencies.
Your 80. What year is yours?
85.
Tell me about the airbags your 85 has.
When I say safety features, you have shoulder belts and you have crumple zones. That's about it.
In a square body, we die like real men.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've had two.
Really?
I just recently sold mine last. Was actually this spring.
Yeah, this year. That was an awesome truck.
Yeah.
You did a lot of that work to it as well, didn't you?
Yep. Most
You need to
all
get
of it,
another
yeah.
one.
I miss it.
You don't have any right
I'll
now.
have to. I'll definitely have
So
He
if
got a motorcycle instead.
if Cade gets one, can he be in your square body club?
Yes.
Tell us about that. What is that?
The Wayne County Square Body Club.
Oh, you have to move to Wayne County.
You have to
Sorry.
move.
Ooh.
What if
People
he-
from everywhere are part of it.
I'm
It's
part of
hard to pick up my fake farm and just move a county over.
Yeah,
maybe you could fake farm 1 acre over in Wayne County.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Sublease some
Wayne
ground from
County
Ed Yanos.
in the Wayne County Square Body group. I'm in there.
You're in that club.
I am in
Because
that
you
club.
used to have a square body.
It wasn't
Well,
a true square body.
It was like a 90.
Mine was a 91.
Not
Chevy.
permitted. No.
No,
Mhm.
but you saw it and you added me to the group. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I add everyone to the group.
I no longer have that.
I'm in the group.
You're in the group?
Yeah.
There you
And I have a Tahoe.
go. You need to get one. They're great. They're the best truck
I grew
ever
up
made.
with them. My dad had an 84. It was a half-ton gold. And then
Beautiful.
And then he had an 85 half-ton. It was blue, dual gas tanks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Duals. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
They're great trucks.
When
They
I
rust
say
easy,
fun,
but-
it didn't run well. The little I say little, but the gray one was I think it had less. I don't know what the motors were in those things. It may have been a V6. It was way underpowered.
Oh yeah, that's what mine is.
Yeah.
Mine's a V6 with a low geared transmission.
Yeah, it
No power.
had no power at all. The other
Well,
one was more of a pulling truck.
Maybe if your dad had watched some of Mark's instructional videos, he would have been able to get it up and running.
So
Yeah.
your latest video, Mark, I watched it, and I don't think I will ever need to know about how to change the carburetor in a 1987 Chevrolet, but yet I watched you do it, and I learned that 1, you forgot to take pictures on the front end,
Yeah.
and 2, you bought a replacement that was not a direct swap because
Because what was in it was from an Oldsmobile. So,
which made a lovely 3/4 ton Chevy in '87.
Yeah.
No.
No.
What kind of Oldsmobile do you think it was from? Was it a Cutlass or something?
I have no clue.
Olds '88.
No clue whatsoever. I just took a photo. You had to send the old carburetor back to the company, and I said, well, I'm not going to send you what you sent me. And they said, that looks like an Oldsmobile carburetor, but that's fine. We don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. So you sent it to the company, and they still got you what you needed?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, they sent me the carburetor first, and then I took my old one off and sent it back to them.
That's great customer service. I wish that a local video maker had that level of customer service.
That would be nice. That would be really nice to get back with you. And
We've offered him exactly $0, but we're letting him in on the inside of the dream.
yeah,
So
exactly. It was great, though, and that's what it occurred to me. I've made videos for 7 years now, and it only occurred to me recently. I'm like, how about I make some videos that I enjoy making?
maybe some fun
So-
stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Does your square body truck have air conditioning? Because this has
no.
been the hottest summer I have ever felt in my life.
No. You get in. When you get in, if you have air conditioning, by God, don't turn it on. No, you get in and you have a vinyl seat, and you just stick to that thing. Your back melts to. You know what I'm talking about? That's part of the fun.
Mine had AC. I called it 2x80. Two windows down, 80 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Before the wedding a couple weeks ago, Kade and I were talking. It was probably the Monday night before the wedding. Kade and I were talking, if I remember right. I can remember that far back really well. You were bailing, and you said you were dying.
Oh yeah,
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Back in straw bailing season.
Mm-hmm.
So many weeks ago.
Yeah,
So you say, Dakota, in our show notes that you prepare. By the way, I want to talk about these show notes for a minute.
yeah, we can talk about
This
it.
looks like hell.
Normally, the show notes are well prepared, and they're in a Word document, and they get emailed to everybody, and they're in a PDF, and they get put into the Patreon group for the Patreon people, so they have them ahead of time. Instead, this week, Dakota's like, you guys are we're going to, new thing, we're going to give you the show notes. As soon as the show starts, you're all going to get a copy of the show notes. I'm like, that's never going to work.
It was unanimously voted on.
By you. 1-0 vote.
Audrey voted as well.
So instead, I'm like, no, you need to send us a picture of it or something. Because he's like, I didn't save it, and I printed them, and I've got them here. I'll bring them tonight. Okay. So instead, I fight with Dakota, as we often do, and I got him to take a picture of it, and I converted it into a PDF and put it into the chat, and into the Patreon group. And then we get to the house, and Mark and I are here, and Dakota's like, oh, I had to go back to the place that I had them at. I didn't have my keys, so we have no show notes. So we had to print off the photograph, turn into a PDF, and now we have, it looks like a size 14 font at the top and a size 3 font at the bottom. So by the time we get to the end of the show, we're all going to we're going to be up to our eyeballs trying to read this thing. But we have show notes.
It's hilarious. It's really, really, really good. And I had them, I have this little paper clip stand that I use, and I put it in that stand so I could take a better picture. And that ended up being a good thing, because I can imagine if there were like shadows on this and we couldn't see it.
It's rough.
You didn't observe the rule of thirds.
And when this happened, I think we probably used, the whole thing is printed on inkjet printer, which is the most expensive liquid in the history of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably took like 45 pages worth of ink to do each one of these.
Yeah.
So it's
going
to be
thing.
good.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So it's been a hot summer. Dakota, in the show notes, you said that every day of the month reached 70 degrees since 1896.
That was.
Are we talking about February, or what month was this?
No, that was the month of May. May was the hottest summer on record in the state of Indiana since 1876.
1870.
Cade, will you explain to me
This is
what he's
1890s.
talking about?
Well, that's a different statistic.
Oh, gotcha.
May
Yeah.
was summer.
No, it's not a summer month. It's just May was the hottest month. Sorry, the show notes are off.
May was the hottest. Yeah.
I blame RTV6 because this is where I copied and pasted from.
Is this Bob Gregory or Kevin Gregory or Richard Gregory? You don't know Indianapolis TV, do you, Mark?
No, I don't have.
No, he gets
I know Randy Ellis.
You do know Randy.
You
Ellis.
get the greater Cincinnati
I know his
area?
name.
Dayton. Do you get Dayton TV or?
Yeah.
Or
I don't get any TV. I don't have TV hooked up, but yeah, I'm aware of it.
Well, we don't have cable either. Dakota and I have shared services with YouTube and Hulu. I use his Hulu and he uses my DirecTV or my YouTube TV. So we don't pay for cable either. We're cord cutters.
Oh, gotcha.
You're such a hipster. You don't have cable.
I don't have cable. No.
All right. So you really don't know what local channels they get in your town.
8,
Not a clue.
7.
You guys get greater Cincinnati area. At least that's what
WOWT.
That's what we
Channel 5.
get whenever we are down there.
I think you're different. I think you are Cincinnati down there, but I think Richmond is Dayton.
Oh, yeah.
We get a lot of Dayton, yeah. Yeah, because they kind of horn in on our news a little bit.
When you live in Richmond, you and you're in Dayton, you get to see the storm that's hitting you now when they heard on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in Indianapolis, you see what hit. You're just in a terrible spot for weather.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
that's why we have the internet. It's a lovely thing.
So,
all right, Mark Brim, why are you making it so hot outside?
So is this why, I was wondering, next up on the list, it says, why is Mark Brim doing this to us?
Yeah, why are you making it so hot?
Originally, I thought...
Because you drive a square body Chevy.
And
those have horrible gas mileage.
I get 22 miles to the gallon.
I saw a video of you on like a 1920s vintage tractor today.
Yeah, that was a 70s, 60s?
Yeah, probably a 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. Not 1920s.
The part of the video I have to show you, since you're a farmer...
Yeah,
is the starting of the tractor because
the reason he's a fake farmer.
Why is he a fake farmer?
15-second primer. What happened, Kade?
You look like a farmer, or you lift weights.
Yeah, I farm.
It's an inside joke. Why? Why did we joke about that?
I've been told that I'm not a real farmer.
Why?
Because I didn't grow up in the era of tractor that you're talking about.
You have newer equipment.
Yeah,
and so that doesn't make you a real farmer.
Yes.
Yep.
That should make you a really good farmer
older
because
equipment,
you
I have
can
older
afford new
I
equipment.
still have older equipment.
And also because he can afford to take his family on vacations.
Yes.
Yeah. Real farmers are poor.
Correct.
Have to be.
Like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go once a year. You go on vacation.
Once
go farm.
a year, I do. I once a year sort of help, but not really, my father-in-law. So does that qualify as farmer?
I mean, you come home with beef.
I don't want to say that to a real farmer.
Seriously, I want to come to the meetings, and I want to be a part of the Farm Bureau. That's Mark Brim.
Yeah, totally.
Give me my cheap insurance.
So the fact you're a successful farmer makes you not a real farmer?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had no choice. I was born into it.
All right. So from the fake farmer desk.
So to start
Kade,
this Oliver, he has to take a screwdriver and to cross the poles on the
starter.
Yeah, on the
Solenoid?
starter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really
An old
starting
square
a
body
tractor.
trick sometimes.
Is
Yeah.
it?
I've done that a few times, yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Can I do that even if my starter works? Yeah.
Maybe your key doesn't work. I think you're jumping the
Yeah,
ignition.
your key just jumps it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're making your key. Mr.
I don't
Mechanical
know
over
how
here,
things work.
When you turn your key, all you're doing is you're closing a circuit, which kicks on your starter. Am I correct? Yep. Yeah. See, I
I just do that anyway.
Yeah. So that's all you're doing with you're replacing the key with.
See, I'm a college dropout. I don't know.
You're a university man. Come on.
All right, it's time for a new segment on the show. It's called Kade's Korner. It's Korner with a K.
Yeah. When did we start replacing everything with K's?
I don't. I just like it.
I think Spangle started that, didn't he?
Kade Koger's Korner. KKK.
Oh, it's ugly.
Okay,
It's a dark tradition you're starting.
I really want to know if this hot weather like the 115-degree heat index that we had a few weeks ago, if that has a poor effect on your crops.
Yeah, it's a little hot. It'd be worse if it was hot and dry, but we've had pretty good moisture, so it's not as bad. But normally, as far as corn goes, they don't like to see it any hotter than 86.
Oh, okay.
And they don't like to see it any colder than like 55. So that's kind of the temperature range where they grow the best.
It's a pretty wide range. I didn't realize it was that large.
Yeah, if it gets any hotter than that, especially when it's dry, it kind of, especially now this period, we're about 2 months
mid-July.
in. Yeah, we're about 2 months in on the growing season, and they're starting to silk. If you're driving around, you see them tasseling and putting ears on and stuff. So as it gets hotter and drier, it'll actually start hurting the silks. So by the time they go to pollinate, when they're pollinating, if they're not silked well, then they don't produce very much.
So another question I have is, a couple weeks ago at work, a coworker of mine, his friends are going to be detasseling corn this year, and he told me that you would have to know the guy, and it would make a lot more sense. But he was basically going on a rant and said that the only reason that farmers hire kids to detassel corn is to teach them that they need to get a good education. Is that true?
I think you have to have spent some time doing that job to understand that. I mean, honestly, I didn't know of anyone around here that really did a whole lot of that anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I know it had stopped.
It's just it's just not a fun job.
Yeah,
it's always hot. It's just always like it has been, and I grew up, producing sweet corn and stuff, and we used to pick it in 5-gallon buckets and then fill a truck bed full, and that was risking heat stroke every day of every summer as I was growing up.
Yeah, they had already stopped detasseling corn by the time I was in high school, but whenever
4 years ago.
Actually, this job was in junior high, so it was a little bit longer than that. But whenever I was in junior high, the local farming operation and also the owners of the airport here hired me, and I was walking up and down the rows of corn and cutting down sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a horrid job.
Yeah.
Because there were bees that liked the sunflowers a lot. It sucked.
Everyone needs to suffer on a farm.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It builds character.
Women,
It does.
children, men, everybody's supposed to suffer.
Yeah.
That is also where I learned how to drive a stick shift.
Which is why the number one
Valuable.
suicide profession is farming.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Truly.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah. This is a big shout out to everybody listening in their tractor today, by the way. We're the number one tractor podcast in East Central Indiana.
Way to take a dark turn.
I would always assume
suicide
not.
twice now.
I thought farmers
Hello,
were
darkness,
happy.
my
I
old
had no
friend.
clue.
Yeah. So that's that.
I learned how to drive a stick shift on that farm, and it was a 53 dump truck, really old. And the older gentleman who owned the airport came up to me and asked, I was 15.
This is the Marlott family?
Yes. And he came up to me and said, do you know how to drive a stick? And I said, and me being 15 and terrified to ever say no,
Of course I do.
I was like, yeah, I do. And I had like a little Honda, like a mini bike at the time that you had to
Exactly the
shift.
same.
And I was like, it's going to be the same thing. You just watch the RPMs and then shift it. It was much different because there's a clutch.
Yes.
Yep.
Because you had to release the clutch to go.
And I ended up taking it into a ditch that day. Yeah.
Oh.
I got dropped in the middle of a fresh cut wheat field after we baled straw on it, and we had a 5-speed old Ford truck. And I just got thrown in the truck and said, "Figure it out."
Yeah.
I spent the whole afternoon out there just figuring it out.
I know
It was
how
difficult.
I know how to drive a stick, but I've never owned a stick, so it's always been somebody else's. So it's not like if you don't own a stick shift vehicle, I'm competent. Yes, I can do it, but don't expect it to be smooth. But I can, I can start at a red light, and I can drive driven to Columbus, Ohio, and back in one before. I can do it.
We might stall at a 4-way stop.
Yeah, and
On a hill.
We're gonna
On a
pray.
hill.
Yeah, we're gonna pray to God that there's no hill. Well, I used to borrow my brother's. My brother had a little Ranger.
Yeah.
And if my car was in the shop, I'd borrow his Ranger. And he lived over on the way to Kennard. So if you're not looking locally, you can try to Google it and look it up. But there's basically there was a road that runs. There's a north-south road that goes to Westwood Lake, and it intersects with Greensboro Pike.
Mhm.
That has a hell of a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
on a
really
blind
blind
corner.
on
And a
both
blind
sides.
corner.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there praying to God that there won't be a car coming at the blind corner so that I don't have to stop, because if I have to start from a dead stop on a hill like that, I may die. But I had to, and I did it just fine. But yeah, it takes talent, or finesse. It's not talent, but you have to have practice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't drive one every day, the best you can hope for is to be somewhat competent,
Mhm.
and then to buy the guy a clutch when you return it to him.
All right. Sounds like
Best thing to learn on is a diesel because you can't stall it as easy.
really.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I learned.
They
on
generate
this.
enough torque, it just comes right through the clutch.
There we go.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yep. Okay, so we're talking about our past here.
Past.
Jeremiah wanted us to talk about what the most superior decade is.
And I take issue with a lot of what you said here.
So I once again,
I knew you would.
I know
I wanted
the
it to be
important thing-
triggering.
the important thing is that Mark takes my side in all of this.
In all of this.
I protest the show notes on a regular basis.
So who came up with these
What happens in the
70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? Some of these bullet points here were yours?
No,
These were yours.
All we do, you saw the group chat,
Uh-huh.
and somehow, by the way, in the group chat, as we planned this week,
I wasn't
like,
really listening to the
3
group
extra
chat,
people
though.
got in there,
Yeah.
and I don't know
They
how
just
your sock
got
accounts all got to come in,
Sock accounts.
but they have very unique
These
profiles.
were real people.
They're real people.
Yeah, I can't get
They're
Roy to
friends
add
of
me
mine.
back. I can't get Roy to add me back on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
He needs to be your friend.
So anyway,
I'll talk to him.
we go through and we have a group conversation,
Yeah.
and magically somehow we have a chat for a week,
Uh-huh.
and then about the day before, Dakota will take whatever we talked about in the chat and turn it into a one-page of show notes, and that's what magically creates our show.
Gotcha.
I messaged Dakota this afternoon, early afternoon, and said, do we have any semblance of show notes or an idea of what we're doing today? And he's like, absolutely not. No, I'm trying to have a conversation that goes in any sort of a straight line with Mark Brim. That's going to be a bottle episode, so that it's not going to be truly dated.
I like to, in our individual chat on Facebook,
Right.
I like to take it in different directions.
Yeah.
I like to open you up to new things.
I appreciate that very much.
And I like to rename all of you. I like to give you different nicknames.
We were exposed to a lot.
Yeah. Jeremiah's nickname was my favorite. Because every time he sent a picture, it said, penis beef sent a photo.
Yeah, it was quite the day.
It was good. And he was doing this from Mexico.
Yes.
That's the amazing
I had the
thing.
data plan.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
you're welcome.
That's a socialist country now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Truly. The thing about the
Kinda
wall
torture
that,
for a
that they've
libertarian.
built in some areas, if you get on a plane, you fly right over it. If you get on a boat, you sail right around it. The wall doesn't keep me out or in. All right, so we said, I want to talk to Mark about what is a superior decade.
Superior decade.
Now, Dakota, we posted the show notes, and the lovely Sarah Potter Morrill said, what the hell is wrong with the 2000s? Because we put 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, and then the 2010s. Completely skipped the 2000s.
Yeah.
There's no chance that that's the superior decade to Dakota.
No, it's not. No, the 2000s isn't even the superior decade to me, I don't think. Maybe in the sense of how great the technology is.
We're going to call time out for a second and read the chat.
Yeah, we need to do.
92 Dakota HD. He's got a real name.
It's Zach.
Zach Bertram. He says his mom once had to start on a hill with a square body truck manual, and there was a Rolls Royce behind her, and it scared her to death.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that'd be even worse. I think at that point you put the parking brake on, you get out,
wave
and
them
you
around.
wave the Rolls around. You're like, no, you go ahead. If it was a Buick, I'd try it, but a Rolls, we're just gonna say the hell with it.
Square body stick shift is a L1, 2, 3. Those are, yeah.
You got 3 in
Got the
reverse. That's it.
granny. Yep. 3 in reverse. Well, you have 4 technically. Your first gear is a low granny gear. Yeah. So you could put it in that and be okay. Just can't go more than a mile an hour.
All right, so Dakota, walk us through your logic. And Mark has already protested.
Yep.
I'm protesting the hell out of
Yeah,
this.
there's a few
All right.
things on there I'd protest too.
All right,
Really?
so let's talk. The 1970s, you said,
And so why are we starting with the 70s?
because
That's what Jeremiah wanted to start
Oh, is
with.
that you want to start
I
with?
thought you would pick the 70s.
I think that...
Did I? I can't remember what I said.
I
Yeah.
found you a house, by the way, a couple weeks ago. We were in our group chat,
That was a beautiful house.
and it was in White Estates, my neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
Look
It was
at it.
159,000, and I'm sure it has already sold. I haven't gone back to look, but a house like that had to sell instantly. But it had burnt orange everywhere. It had not been touched or redecorated
Wood
in the
paneling?
40s,
It
since the
needed
40s.
so much work.
No.
It was-
you needed
It's
to
a time
gut,
capsule.
you needed to gut
It was
that house.
moved
As is.
in ready to Mark.
Is this a normal housing price for
That is
Newcastle?
disgusting.
6 figures?
6 figure. I mean, it depends on what you want. I truly think
That seems like a lot to me. Like a
truly think
normal
Henry
house in
County-
Richmond is like $17.
Henry County is so close to having new homes built because the housing stock of something that is in the 3 or 4 bedroom with 2,000 square feet,
Mhm.
the inventory is so low that the pricing is just jacking up.
And
to
it's
where
all
you're
designed
in the 150 to 160s.
It's all designed
at
in
minimum.
mid-century modern. No one wants to put the work in to gut those places.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
That's all
I
you
thought
need to
that-
be.
Once again, I
love the house.
Mark and I are like
as
kindred
is.
spirits. I
As is.
really do like those styles as well,
Mhm.
and I could totally do like if I had a basement in the house, I would want it to look like it's 1977 in there.
Oh, yeah.
I want to pretend like it's
Just like a haze of smoke over a pool
Yeah.
table.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's perfect.
I would
go
put
to
a
Scooter's.
console
Cigars.
TV in the basement, and I would just drink every night, afternoon, maybe even morning. I don't know.
Just day drinking.
Yeah, just day drinking.
I sent Mark 2 or 3 weeks ago. I sent him maybe it was 4 to 6 weeks ago now, if I remember my timeline correctly. It was an Apple TV that somebody had converted over to work on the console TV.
That was
and I
wonderful.
instantly thought of you.
Yeah, that was
I did
wonderful.
think that was really cool. I saw that picture. That was really neat.
I actually have in my living room 87 Zenith TV, hollowed it out, made it a bookshelf for the kids.
It's not an aquarium.
No,
That's awesome.
they make nice bookshelves.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that. You're a genius.
I am. I really
You're a
am.
gene-ass, Mark.
Just go to any Goodwill, get yourself a console TV, go to town on that thing. Yeah.
Did you shoot the interiors that you took out?
No. This was before I was making videos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good video, man. I'm sure that you probably could have got some advertising revenue off of that one.
Oh, yeah. So you have 70s, 80s. Now, I will say something about the 60s.
Okay.
Just popped into my head the
right
other day. Is it okay if I say something about the 60s?
Of course.
Actually, I'm going to say something about 1959, and then I'm going to say something about on Netflix. They have the Twilight Zone on, the original Twilight Zone. 1959, It's held up. Totally held up.
Yeah.
You don't. If you get into the story, you don't feel like you're watching an old show. Another one that's held up, 1960 to 1965, Dick Van Dyke Show.
Tripping over the couch is still funny no matter what area you're in.
Because they designed it to where there's no mention of any current event, no exterior shots. You don't see cars or anything, aside from like people maybe smoking or something.
That's exactly like
Totally
this show today.
Not dated.
No current events,
Mhm.
no cars,
No cars.
and
Nothing.
no smoking.
This is timeless. What we're doing today is timeless.
Yes.
I am Dick Van Dyke. You are Mary Tyler Moore.
Where's my hat?
Yes.
Oh, that was good.
1970s birth of mid-century modern decorating.
Yep.
The
Burnt
worst style
orange,
there
wood
is.
paneling, green curtains.
We're returning to that.
Oh, I hope not.
Color, that kind of color,
I mean,
it's coming back.
who doesn't like a good green tub? You can't tell if it's dirty or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's ready to go.
Because if you, now you wouldn't remember because you're 17, 19, 20, 22.
22.
He was born in
You're
19
young, right? What are you-
28.
28. Okay, so you're not.
I'm 35.
I'm 35 and you're
Yeah.
35. So
Yeah.
we remember the early 90s when everything was white.
Yes.
Everything was white.
Yes.
The couch
how
was
it
white.
should
The
be.
curtains were white. The floor was white. It was awful.
Everything was white, and the you wanted the best thing you could have was a brand new laminate floor.
Yeah.
The
Linoleum.
one piece
Yeah.
linoleum. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Covering beautiful hardwood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. It has to cover up the hardwood.
My parents went to Meyer Furniture and Appliance, and they had a brand new. This is probably 1994. They had the laminate floor put down, linoleum, one piece linoleum floor, and then as they were moving the refrigerator back, it scratched the linoleum. So they had to take everything back out, pulled up linoleum, and started over.
Yeah.
It was a great era of flooring.
It
In
was-
one piece.
Mm-hmm. And I think now we're returning to more color. We're returning to better options.
Welcome
and
to our
it is-
gray studio.
Yes.
In the modern era here, everything is gray.
This is
We
not
just live
bad.
in gray.
I like the hardwood floors.
And then
So-
here you have music getting better in the 90s. And I think that probably belongs, late 60s and 70s?
Late
Well,
Yeah.
see,
If I
I
had to pick an era for music to relive, that's what I
okay,
would
but I would,
Oh, yeah.
would agree with that. But in the 80s, music went way downhill.
yeah.
Way downhill
So
in the 80s.
It went way downhill, and that's why
Yeah,
in the
okay.
90s it started climbing.
started
again.
recovering.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's where that's coming from.
So
Really?
you said in the 1970s we had good video games or cool
Yeah,
video games.
You had
Dakota.
cool like the good retro video games that you could get on
like
the
Pac-Man.
yeah, and Donkey Kong.
Galaga,
Was
Yeah.
that 70s?
Centipede.
I don't know. I think that was the early 80s, but they may have been Atari.
I've
I
never
think
been
those-
into video games.
I think that was an Atari. That all those were Atari games.
Now, TV shows in the 70s started to become more intellectual.
Pac-Man was released by Nintendo in May of 1980.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
So we're going to
There you
strike
go.
that one.
So
for,
close.
For what was cool in the
Yeah.
70s, we
They
have to
did-
move that
you
down
did
to
have
the
Pong.
80s.
I know that.
But was that
was
cool?
Pong?
Pong is pretty cool.
Was that
Pong is
70s?
making it's on Wii now.
Really?
You can download it on for free on pretty much any console.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, I don't.
So if we go back
I'm
to talk about
totally-
the 60s a little
let me
bit.
confess my ignorance. I've never played a video game. in my
Did you
life.
ever watch Mad Men?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that you watched.
Mhm.
And that was the 60s.
Yeah,
So
that's a good show.
a
you,
little bit. They took some liberties, I think, but yeah.
well, okay, but it's supposed to take place in the 60s.
Yeah.
I guess the question I have to ask is we're debating decades, and what was this is probably the superior decade for Mark Brim to have lived in for we'll say your mid-30s. The age you are now,
Right.
the perfect time for you to be 35. Would that have been in 1965 or 1975 or a different year?
I'd say 75.
1975.
Yeah.
So
And
you
have-
would rather be in the Rockford Files than in Mad Men?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, totally. Rockford Files is probably one of the best shows ever made.
I don't even know that I've seen that.
because you're
honest.
unreachable.
You must.
You're completely unreachable.
You're completely unreachable.
You couldn't. Nobody could call you.
No one can call you.
All you could do is call into a messenger service at a payphone,
Mhm.
and you just needed a shitload of quarters in your car.
Dimes.
Well,
Probably in the
okay.
early 70s.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
so.
I love the attention to detail.
And a bag of Tootsie Pops is only 5 cents.
The best thing was you could make shit up. Like now, if I say something like, oh, did you watch Stephen Colbert last night? He had a guest on who blah, blah, blah. And you could make it, people created their own reality. Right. Now you could just look it up and say, no, that didn't happen.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
That was bullshit.
Yeah. But if the Rockford Files, basically it was him driving around Southern California from Los Angeles he lived in Malibu. So no matter where the guy went, he had to go like an hour to go to, you go to Long Beach and it's like an hour and a half from where he's at. You've never been to California, but...
I've never been to California. I'd like to go to San Francisco.
How in the hell have you not been to California to check out the spots in the show?
I'm poor. Can't make it anywhere.
At 23 miles per gallon, we could get to a GoFundMe for your
the
fuel,
green truck?
for the green truck.
This would be a great GoFundMe.
And it would be the greatest vlog ever.
The
He could
green
be a cross-country correspondent for the Boss Hog.
Yeah.
This would be
We get a couple
I could be your
GoPros
Charles
on the dash.
Perrault.
we put a couple gas a couple gas cans in the back.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a cooler. Not a good cooler, an old cooler that's going to melt in the heat.
Great.
And then it's just you and a couple of GoPros, and we send you west. We have you drive
I don't get
around.
a DSLR? Get some good tight shots?
I guess, if you have to.
Okay, good.
All right. And then we send you across the Great West. We take old Route 66 going there. And then you get to Santa Monica and you check things out.
There's already a YouTube channel where a guy does that.
Yeah.
The Daily Woo.
Okay. This is the Boss Hog of Liberty's version of it.
Okay.
And it's just Mark seeing the West for the first time.
In the truck.
And then if it breaks down, even better.
Yeah. That's conflict, which is what makes the story.
We've got you overheating, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We have a protagonist, which is Mark.
Uh-huh.
We have a good storyline, which is he loves to explore and travel. We have a good antagonist, which is life.
Yes. And the conflict, whether or not the truck will make it.
And we'll create a false narrative or a false thing. You have to complete the whole thing in 96 hours.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. Get from here to there in 96 hours. So you'd have 4 days.
So I'm hauling cores?
Yeah. All right.
Do we want to send you through the mountains or through the low country?
Through the mountains. Definitely.
All right. So we've gone way off track.
I'll tell you why the Rockford Files was good. Not because of the things that date it. The Rockford Files was the first show where your hero was an anti-hero. He wasn't
He wasn't a cop.
He wasn't a cop. He wasn't some ballsy guy who was out, to get the ladies and to, kick ass and take names later. He didn't want to do the job.
Your hero is always broke.
He's always broke. He actually asks about money. Money's never an issue in these shows. It's just good against bad.
How much did it cost today to hire him?
$200 plus expenses. And so people would say, hey, I need you, please, will you save me? And he'd be like, no, well, can I run a credit check on you? So he didn't want to do this. He didn't want to be a good guy. He was a wimp. He didn't want to fight. So, yeah, I like that. He wasn't just, some suave.
He had a gun, but he didn't carry it on his hip.
He carried it, he put it in his cookie jar. I mean, it was great. He was an anti-hero. He was a wimp. He was a loser, but you still liked him. That has started all kinds of shows where there's anti-heroes like that.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other one on the comedy side, 1970s, Bob Newhart show.
Of course.
He didn't have kids. He wasn't a goofy dad.
He didn't want to. Bob Newhart, at the end of that show, they tried to write in him having kids. He's like, I love it. What do you think of him having? It's great. The greatest thing ever. I'd love to see him have kids. Who's playing Bob?
Yeah.
He didn't want to be the punchline dad.
Oh, yeah.
It was a totally different show.
And there was not the thing about Bob. It was a little bit, but I think it led the way to shows like Seinfeld and stuff. There was not that moment at the end, that sweet moment or anything. It was just a funny show.
Yeah.
There was no moral to the story. That's a good show. So that's why I think the 70s is really set the way for TV as we know it now.
And even the 80s. Okay, so we go into the 80s.
Yeah.
It's all crap. We hate everything. Is there any redeeming quality of the 80s for you, Mark?
No, well, the 80s, there are the endearing shows for people like you and I, Dukes of Hazzard, Fall Guy, A-Team. They're not good shows.
Coach.
Newhart.
Not the Bob Newhart show.
Newhart. No, Newhart was a good show.
Yeah.
Like Dukes of Hazzard, I love Dukes of Hazzard, but it's not a good show.
No.
Was MASH 80s?
Yeah, but it brought you us.
MASH was 74 to 80. Was 72 to 83, I believe.
I know that was a big show, though.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Alda.
My dad loves MASH. It's his all-time favorite show.
Any thoughts on the 80s from you, Chase? Cade?
Not a whole lot.
It's all that jet lag from flying. I'm sorry I called you Chase.
So you were born in 1990?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you missed the 80s.
Yep, I missed the 80s, yeah.
You're born in 82 or 83?
82.
82, yeah. Are you sure you're just 35?
Yeah. My birthday's November 17th.
of 82.
And your birthday is February 12th.
7/9.
Yeah,
83.
I was close.
Missed it by that much.
So, there you go, Don Adams.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you and I, unlike everyone else in this room, being half of the room, we actually have a memory of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Just barely, man. I was like 9.
I think, but I remember watching it at my grandparents' house. It might have been like reruns or like tapes.
Probably
Maybe.
tapes.
It was on till 92. So, if
Yeah.
you like are super...
If you're 2 years old, and you're
I
amazing.
think there were
Paid's a genius.
No, my
Yeah.
grandpa probably had like a tapes of it. I think he recorded it.
Nice.
I do remember.
So there
watching
you go. There you go.
All right, let's talk about the 1990s.
90s.
TV and music
Got
both
better.
got better.
Really?
I think so.
How so?
Well,
Four non-blondes?
Well, I think that the 90s kind of started ushering in the modern format of both different art forms. Talking about storylines, the like more modern comedy.
I'm sorry, I
started being
zoned
made
out
at
for a
the
minute.
point.
Did you pointed out 4 non-blondes for the 90s?
I did. Yes.
Not in vogue?
No. I'll give you that because right when you say that, I think Northern Exposure.
Yeah,
That was a modern show. That was
Fargo.
very modern. Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You start to get the Coen Brothers stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does the Coen Brothers strike home for you at all?
No.
No, not at all.
And then also in the 90s, you had the Boondock Saints, which was made, which is the greatest movie that's ever been made.
Ever?
Easily. Ever?
Ever?
The greatest movie ever made was made in the 90s, but it's called Tommy Boy.
No way.
You're
The
welcome.
Boondock Saints. Best movie of all time.
You didn't grow up a fat kid, okay? Kade and I understand. And Mark does, too.
Yeah.
They've all whipped it, but yeah.
I'm still a fan of Adam Sandler era. Billy
Yeah.
Madison, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I love
stuff
those.
Like that.
Yeah.
Mixed Nuts.
Yeah, those
Just
are my favorite.
Mixed Nuts is the earliest Adam Sandler
Yeah.
movie out there.
Yeah.
Really?
With Steve Martin.
Yep.
All right.
You would love that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
It's a this is I'm going to bring the room up. Steve Martin runs a failing suicide hotline at Christmas.
Yep. That was a good one.
Yeah, okay.
Gary
This
Shandling is in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of rings a bell.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Gary
the-
Shandling, what was his show?
It's a fake talk show.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was a very modern show, too.
I don't know the name of it now.
The Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah.
The one bad thing about the 90s was the fashion is the worst it's ever been in human history.
Think so.
Yeah, I think that even the cavemen had better clothes than what we had in the 1990s.
Remember Jinko jeans?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any?
Yeah, I did
I
actually.
wore Jinkos, and I had a Element skating sweatshirt that I
Oh,
wore in
yeah.
like my sixth,
And I had
my
those-
sixth grade.
I had those really big, what were they? The DC shoes
Yeah.
with the giant tongue on
Yep.
them. Yeah, I was that
Have
kid.
the LA Gear light up shoes
Etnies.
Yeah.
Nice.
and the Bugle Boys.
And the all white K-Swiss. I can see you wearing those.
Oh, I had kids. Yeah, I totally had kids. Yeah, I definitely did. They can't even hide that one.
Yep.
And then, the big dogs. Can't run with big dogs. Stay on the porch.
I can't
those are
remember the big
t-shirts.
dogs. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Biggest article of clothing I remember that just pops into my head from the 90s, we're talking when I was in elementary or middle school, was novelty shirts. Jeff Foxworthy novelty shirts. And I remember they said, this is the high school I went to, that no one can wear those anymore because it was offending some people. The you might be a redneck things. They were some of the people were getting offended by
Ah,
it.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'd
Straight
see
out
that.
of their trailer park.
I remember they banned Jinko jeans and Heelys at
Yep.
my elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
It was the worst day of my life.
I remember
There will be no more Heelys at the Westwood Elementary School.
I had
It looked like I was floating.
I had a pair
Crazy.
of those Jinkos that had like the straps on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are hilarious. God, it was so bad. The fashion was so bad then.
There were the fashion in the 90s was a lot of purple, bright colors, black, purple, neon green, teal, just bright, and it wasn't like any sort of pattern. It was
Yeah,
just
there was no
throw it.
structure.
You would have a big block of something on the top left portion of your
That's
shirt,
true.
and then you would have another panel here, and then the bottom of it would be all white,
And
which you could get stained.
I'm pretty sure there's
Yeah.
a picture of me whenever I was like 2 years old, and I had on a little miniature windbreaker that was like purple and blue
Yeah.
and green.
Yeah, you would just have random colors, or you would have big, wide vertical stripes of any flavor. You could have like 3 colors that don't go together at all. That was the 90s.
And all the men had frosted tips.
Yeah,
Do you have frosted
I was
tips?
just getting ready to pull it up. Back to the crossover between music and fashion. My older brother Corey bleached his hair
See, I
to
grew
look
up
like
with
the
Corey.
real Slim Shady.
I grew up with Corey.
Remember when that was a huge fad?
Yeah.
Everybody bleached their hair.
Oh, that's so true.
And you
I
had
got
your shell necklace. And late 90s,
Ah,
you had
the
your
shell
your-
necklaces,
Yeah, is
the
it
white ones.
puka shell? Is that what it was?
I had
Or conch shell?
I had a shell necklace, and I also had frosted tips in my hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the LA gear. That's what I said. The LA gear. We have in the chat. We got 92 to go to HD. You can add them on the YouTube. He's got the LA gear, bum equipment, and Panama Jack.
Panama
Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the 2000s.
That's not on the list. I don't think we can talk about the 2000s.
Yeah, that's-
do we know anything
I mean,
about the 2000s? Does anybody remember them?
I got my license in 99 going on 2000. The one thing I remember, which I enjoyed, swing was big for a month.
Swing dancing?
Swing music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Remember it was big for a month. There was a Brian Setzer Orchestra, Jump, Jive, and Wail.
Yeah.
Those with the
Yeah.
Cherry Poppin' Daddies and Zoot Suit Riot. I can't remember.
Jump,
what
Jive, and
Zoot
Wail,
Suit
yeah.
Riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
It was-
Zoot Suit.
It was big for like a month.
At that time,
I can't remember. There was another
Yeah.
swing band. Yeah, that was big for me. I enjoyed that.
it was like right when Lou Bega was big. Early
Yeah,
2000s.
Mambo number
Yeah.
5. That was all with like
Monica,
99,
yeah.
2000.
Monica.
I
all
loved
them.
it.
Right back to the skating rink.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I loved it. I
Gosh.
think I was the only one, but yeah, I loved it. I was cruising around in my 1984 Buick Century.
Why is right now
You had an 84 Century?
I had an
I
84
had
Century.
an 87 Bonneville.
Really?
I did.
Nice.
Wow.
First fuel injected Pontiac they ever made.
I had
Nice.
I had a 65 Bonneville. That was
Oh.
my first car.
That was your brother's car first.
It was all of my brother's first car. It was
Yeah.
all of ours.
Yeah.
My great grandfather's.
That's an amazing.
And we all had to drive it until we could buy our own.
His Bonneville.
Is it still in the family?
Yeah, we still have it.
No.
His
Nice.
Bonneville was
Yeah.
the size of my car twice.
Yeah.
It
That's
was.
an amazing.
It
first
probably
car.
took every bit of
Awesome
the
first
lane,
car.
and you could totally have put a hot tub in the trunk.
Yeah. Yeah, we snuck probably 7 or 8 people a weekend in at the drive-in. I feel bad because they're out of business now. But
I wonder why. Yeah.
Wow.
My dad used to make my sister and I ride in the back of his truck because there was a camper shell.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we totally did that in the 90s too. Those 80s square body Chevys we talked about. I rode to Central Illinois, 250 miles, cousin Rick's house, totally in the back of a pickup truck. We just put a
my
mattress
God.
back there. Yeah. We should have died so many different ways. Never did. But yeah, we did that all the time.
Like, I understand going down the road, but 250 miles?
Yeah.
How'd
Each
you not
way.
just bounce out on it and hitting a
Well, we had a
pothole?
cap.
Oh, you had a
yeah,
cap.
that
cap.
Oh, okay.
Everybody had a truck cap. No
I
one-
thought you were just
Yeah.
sitting out there, like, sitting on the wheel wells.
We weren't trying to sneak across the border. We were somewhat incognito. But it was so that's in the day where you couldn't, Dakota, we didn't have phones to text. You had to bang on the glass or just pray that they stopped at some point because you had no way to communicate.
Yep.
You were just back there with a book.
So does anyone here think that the 2000s is the best time to raise a child versus any of the other ones? Or to be raised, I guess.
So this is the point where we're going to go from the 2000s
Are we
to the
talking about
2010s.
present day?
Yeah, present day.
So 2010s?
This is where we finally have everybody but Mark has a smartphone. Has something in their pocket.
I don't have data.
Yeah.
I have a smartphone, but I don't have. It goes off of Wi-Fi. It's Republic Wireless. $12 a month for this package.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
But
guess.
it's not that handy.
Can you be texted?
Yeah.
Even without data?
Can you use
I don't have
MapQuest?
Like I can't get online.
Yeah, Mark,
I can't-
Mark, whenever we were trying to get him directions to come here, he's like, I'm going to have to MapQuest.
Yeah,
I didn't even know
the directions.
MapQuest was still a thing.
Is that not a thing?
No, I don't know.
People
I don't-
use Google Maps or Waze now.
I don't know what those words mean. My wife my wife is more of a Luddite than I am. She uses maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Maps.
random Allen.
I remember that from the 90s.
Yeah.
When we went to the Grand Canyon as a family, my dad would have a
Just before
most
that,
up-to-date atlas.
just
Yeah.
before that, we would
My dad
we
still
would
has
use a triptych. You would go drive to Muncie or some AAA location if you had a membership, and you would say, "Hello, ma'am, I am Jeremiah, and my membership number is 374212, and I am going to plan a trip to Garrettson, South Dakota." And I need directions. And they would print you a book, and then they would bind it, and you would
Really?
flip page to page to page, and it would say, "Okay, you're going to take I-74 for 200 miles, and then you can flip it. Yeah, so you had the triptych.
What if you run into construction?
They knew. They were supposed to know and tell you the route you're going to take.
Really?
But yeah, it would be
cool.
it would be a pre-printed thing, and it would tell you this is a summary of your trip. So before we had the days of having your own computer and MapQuest, that's why MapQuest was like the ultimate, because it's like I can just do the triptych thing myself.
That's outdated to get on the MapQuest. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's outdated.
So then it went to MapQuest.
That's what I do. Is map. Now, my wife does map. I have no sense of direction. My wife has a wonderful sense of direction. However, my wife also gets car sick easy. So the best situation is if I drive and she navigates. But if she gets car sick, she has to drive, because that way, I don't know, she can anticipate the movement of the car. And then there's the atlas on my lap. And so she's driving, going 90 miles an hour, and she says, okay, get the atlas and tell me how far blah, blah, blah is from here. I don't know. I've opened it. It looks like a bunch of veins and shit. I can't read that. And I'm like, I don't know what. And she's like, just just find the road we're on. I can't. I don't know. I can't find it.
So you open that up, and then if you know how to, you don't know how to read a map. Like, you can look at it and be like, okay, from this little tiny circle to that little circle, there's a number 7, and that means that it's 7 miles from Newcastle to Spiceland. And then and you add all those numbers up, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a 37-mile trip.
I don't read maps very well. I just don't do it.
Or you can just open your app and say, hey, Google, I want to go to, my phone just turned on. Hey, Google, I want to go to Greenfield, Indiana. And then it'll pull up the directions, and you just follow it along.
She looks at maps. I print off a MapQuest. That's what we do.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. So in the current, basically, I don't think Mark can comment on the 2010s.
Are you talking about? Oh, so the question was raising a kid. Is this the best time to raise a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say yeah. Certainly.
All right. So let's look back at this. This is a political show, so we'll try to be a little political for a second. Yeah. So you had the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Are the politics the worst now that they've ever been?
Oh yeah. They're the worst and they're the best.
Oh. Expand on that.
You want me to expand on that?
Please.
Okay. I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me. I love that Donald Trump as president. I think he is a moron, and the people who follow him are godless, treasonous, ridiculous people, his supporters. But I'm glad that he's president, because we're finally realizing that it's just a stupid job, that when they say anyone can do it, yes, anyone can do it. And yeah, he's going to ruin America quite possibly, but that's fine. We need to recalibrate. We need a reality check. We need to realize how stupid we are, and we need a media that holds every president as accountable as they're holding him, because he's just as vicious as everyone that's preceded him.
So, what was the right time then?
90s? Politically?
Yeah,
the right time.
70s?
Never.
Jimmy Carter?
No.
We've never had the politics right.
No.
Never. We just exist in spite of it.
As a country, no, we're horrible people. We are horrible, murderous, awful people, and I'm glad the light is finally being shed on that, because we finally have a president that the media loves to bash. That's my opinion.
They didn't want to bash Bush too?
Not like this.
Not like this one.
But he deserves it,
I mean,
too.
the second year of Bush, or the second term of Bush too, was pretty rough on the guy.
They were pretty rough on him, but I mean, he wasn't a clown still. He still tried to carry himself.
He was lovable.
He was a lovable doofus.
I think him putting the poncho back on during the Trump inauguration.
Yeah, that was
everybody loved him after that.
I mean, people did need to remind themselves, oh yeah, he's a killer too. But yeah. But yeah, he was an adorable, horrible, murderous, awful creature. But no, we've never had it right. We're a horrible country.
All right.
We're a horrible country. But I'm glad that Donald Trump is finally just...
He's starting to sound like Andy Horning.
Listen, Mark.
Yeah.
I stand for the national anthem.
You stand for the national anthem?
And if you don't stand, then you can get the hell out of my country.
You get out of your country.
I got to go back to Mexico tonight.
We're going to build the wall while you're away.
Yeah. Hope I can get back. Kade, what do you think? Is this the worst politics event?
Are these our final thoughts?
No.
Well,
no, we're not there yet.
It's just opinions.
This is politics is a mess.
Politics.
That's the line we're on. Final thoughts are coming up.
No, I think this is just the age of information and everybody's adjusting. I think it's going to take some time, but we're getting now to where now media has to evolve. We're getting away from TV media. We're getting away from all these big conglomerate media, and it's getting back to the people who are providing the information that we need. And we're getting away from 5-second stories that cover, insane amounts of information that we all need to know. And when you're watching the news and it's all scrolling across the bottom, and you're watching talking heads, and you're not really learning anything, they're just telling you who to be mad at.
Yep.
So I think if anything, we're just seeing a reformation as far as that goes, and I agree that Donald's probably not doing the best job, and he is bringing out that fact of we need some change going on.
Mark, I don't know if you remember before the 2016 election, whenever there was a farmer in East Central Indiana who had carved the letters TRUMP into a field.
Really?
Do you remember seeing that on the news? It was
Sounds
it was
familiar.
like national news.
Yeah, it wasn't
familiar.
just Indianapolis news; it made the national news.
Yeah.
Couple million views, nothing big.
Yeah. This is the guy.
You carved Trump into a field? Really?
Yeah.
I did not know
I just
that.
saw it. Was like, I'm going to make a couple of my friends laugh, and then they took it, and it went crazy. I
That's
I
amazing.
thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny, and it just went insane.
Did you get any death threats over that?
A lot.
Did you really?
Really?
Yeah.
Like legitimate?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
How does that? Whenever any story happens, the first thing you hear is I got death threats. What or how does that? Does someone knock on your door and say, "I might kill you"?
No.
How does a death? What is a death threat?
Comments, messages, unsolicited messages.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, news. That was my first mistake. I'd never had to deal with media, and I had. Fox,
And now you are the media.
I had Fox 59 calling. I had Channel 8 calling. I had everybody calling. Like, what's your name? What's the story behind this? And of course, I gave my story of what was going on. All of them got it wrong. They all reported it wrong. None of them got it right. It was all wrong. They basically made their own narrative for it. And then for their links that they provided for the story and the video that I provided, just the comments that were under those, and then the messages I would get from just random strangers about what a terrible person I was for doing that.
That's ridiculous.
That was really eye-opening itself, just for how the media works today.
Oh yeah, they always get it wrong.
Yep.
Well, I can't say they always get it wrong, but yeah, there's been some scrutinizing our local media because there's a certain media in Richmond that likes to put out sensational headlines that are just great.
Is it a Gannett media outlet?
No.
Is it a radio station?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it one you used to work at?
Yeah.
Well, we're playing this game.
No, I think it's great. I think there are sensational headlines, but some people
I heard
noticed
that starting April 1st of this year, you're going to be the new headline writer.
Now, I am going to be there. Yeah, starting April 1st, 2019.
Nice.
Yeah,
Will they hire a man at 36 years old?
that's pretty old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You might not have a hair left.
past my prime.
Just now past your prime.
Now, I want to tell you something though. So you're married now.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
Is this your final thoughts? Are we pivoting to final thoughts, or is this something else?
This is just random stuff.
This is final thoughts.
Is this
Mark.
a final thought?
Yeah, this is final
We're
thoughts.
transitioning, so this
Make
is where
it
you're going to
good.
pitch
Okay,
yourself and give
segue.
life advice.
You're a married man now.
Yes, sir.
So
Happily.
Children.
I've been told I'm
next
happily
3 to
married.
5 years.
Yeah, likely.
I will tell you.
She tells me she has old eggs, so we have to, let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go. Let's get
Yeah.
this done. Well,
Get it done and over with.
Before marriage and children, I had a full head of rich, dark hair. I just want you to be aware of that because you have a nice full head of hair there.
Well,
He does?
from the front. If you stand behind me.
It's not that gray,
It's not that gray.
and like my face looks like it was damaged in a hailstorm. It's real wrinkly and stuff. I had youth. I had energy. I just,
Yeah.
just enjoy it.
I appreciate that.
Enjoy your sleep and enjoy your healthy face.
We're still on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
When I really get back, we'll see if the hair really falls out and goes gray, and
Yeah.
I get the hailstorm on the face.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
How do people follow you if they want to watch your videos? Keep up with Mark Brim on the internet and your opinions of the day. How does this happen?
I want to make more videos. I'm going to work on some videos coming up.
Well, we gave you a
I have
list.
some idea. You gave me some ideas for some videos. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just can look up Mark Brim, I guess, on YouTube.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the best
And
way.
Facebook.
You're on YouTube as Mark Brim. It's not something catchy.
No, nothing catchy. I have 3 catchy channels I came up with. Didn't like it. I was like, how about just Mark Brim?
Okay.
That works. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And they can follow me, I guess.
All right.
So I don't know why they'd want to, though.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing my stuff.
Is this where we're going to do the awkward pause?
I think we need to do an awkward pause.
Steal Craig Ferguson stuff. Well, this is exciting to have. Really happy to have you back on.
I'm happy I found this place. This is great. My MapQuest directions work perfectly.
I'm going to be honest. I watched you circle the block when I arrived. You were still
because
not
I wanted
quite
to
certain.
park this way.
Yes.
That's the only reason I circled. I saw this house.
All right.
Yeah, I had it.
All right.
Someday after everything's moved on to the new studio, maybe we'll have a big drum roll and we'll release where this was. We tell the audience we're somewhere north of Q Avenue.
So let me ask you this, and I'm not going to give up any locations. Before I leave tonight, I'm taking a journey back to Richmond.
Yes.
40 minutes.
It's a haul.
So what would you recommend I do in Newcastle before I go home?
If it's not too late,
you have to hit up one place to get something, a knick-knack, or visit something, or see, what's one thing you would do in Newcastle at like 9 o'clock at night?
As long as it's still open, I would tell you to go to Weenie World.
Weenie World.
Yeah.
Weenie
World, I think they're still open. They stay open until 10.
Is that the
Pretty
place
sure.
that has
North side of town.
Yeah. And while you're out there, you can go a little farther north.
Oh, here we go.
And stop at L&K Produce.
They're open all night on the honor
Which
system.
is the real produce stand.
Really, the real?
That's ours.
That's yours.
That's a fake farmer produced real produce stand.
And it's an honor stand.
Yeah, it's an honor stand. So
we
have somebody there. Yeah. It's it's a money box inside.
Yeah.
We're open 24 hours when we're in season, and we're gonna keep the beef open year round.
Nice.
So
you do beef?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. We raise our own cattle and have it butchered and processed here in the county. So
sweet.
So that's nice. Locally raised processed beef. All of our produce and stuff is in season now, so come out and check us out up there. Like I said, if it's after hours, we normally have somebody there between 8 and 7. After hours, we have a lot of people that work, third shift and stuff, and on their way home, they like to pick things up. But if nobody's there and you have correct change, you can just leave it in the box and take what you need.
Nice.
So, yep.
Or if you don't have correct change and don't mind making adding a tip.
Yeah.
They'll do that too.
And some people will even leave just an IOU on a piece of paper and come back the next day and pay us for that then. And that's fine too. That's great.
Wow.
Yep.
Perfect.
There you go.
Might stop out there.
There you go.
Check that out. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This was fun.
I've been with my family all week on a long road trip. So to be 40 minutes away.
You feel like you're on vacation again?
This is my vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took us a month to plan this.
It did.
And then Dakota tried to reschedule it on me.
He almost
and
ruined
it didn't work for you, and we're like, oh no. But we made it work. It worked out okay.
I was almost having a heat stroke that night. And I thought, oh no, what if I miss? Because I was mowing my yard. I had a reel mower going on.
You don't have you push mow your lawn with a reel mower.
I'm a minimalist.
Reel, not as in like it exists, but as in metal.
So I took a break
you push it.
To hydrate, to have some vodka and a cigar like you do. And I saw the Facebook message. I thought, oh no, I'm going to miss this podcast. This will be very sad.
It turned out.
It did.
I'm glad we were able to do it.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And congratulations on staying married this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might work this time. I think this is 7 years in, I think.
Yeah. It's your new personal best so far?
It is. Yeah. My other marriage was a year, I think.
Yeah. Dakota's going to pass you in December. All right. Kade.
Yeah, also congratulations on the wedding. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
I think the blood orange beer is one of my favorites now.
I can't believe you guys floated that before we were done with the photos.
That
was I predicted it, but seriously, you could have had a little self-control so I could have had some of that. Or taken a cup of it and set it aside for me so I could have enjoyed it. But whatever. Yeah. It's not like I made Dakota groomsmen to look out for me or anything.
Other than that, let's see. I don't really have anything else going on. This weekend, I've got a defensive handgun class in Muncie I'm going to. Sage Dynamics putting on. So it's a 2-day handgun course, so that'll be fun. And then August 4th, I have my first jiu-jitsu tournament in Indianapolis.
Nice. If I get the weekend off, do we get to come cheer you on?
Yeah, if you want to. That'd be great.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll make signs.
Let's go, Kade. Let's go.
It'll be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
The Armed Farmer on the Instagram?
Yep. The Armed Farmer, or on Facebook, just Kade Koger.
And on the Snapchat. Kade has a lot of tractor time. So
just Kade Koger.
He's good on the Snapchat.
Yeah. I try to keep people entertained anyway.
A lot of late nights driving and singing.
It is fun, especially Instagram. I do get a lot of messages and stuff from people just asking about the farm and farming practices. And I get to follow some guys from Europe that are farmers over there, and it's interesting to see kind of what's going on the other side of the world.
They want to know what freedom is like.
Yeah. It's fun to dangle it in front of them.
Dakota.
All right. My final thoughts, of course, are to promote the Libertarian Party of Henry County. So always go to it's henrycountylp.org. There's a convenient little donate button that is yellow on a gray background up in the right-hand corner. And it works. It works very well. congratulations, Jeremiah, on getting married.
Thank you.
Hope that you enjoy the rest of your honeymoon this week.
I can't wait to get back down there. I feel like I've stayed here too long.
What is
Sarah's
she
just
doing?
waiting.
What is she doing right now?
I told her to cut the best deal she could on. We brought. So when you fly Southwest, you can take 2 bags each. So we brought 1 bag that was full of stuff for us, and then we have 3 empties. And I said, I want you to get the best deal you can on the Mexican blankets, and we're going to decorate the new studio with Mexican blankets. That's the goal. So we're going to
have 2 of those.
A bulk package, and I'm hoping we can have like 60 or 70 of them in the new studio.
Perfect.
So it's just going to be the Mexican blankets that sell you at tourists. So she's down there working on that. I assigned her that task as the husband.
And you left her a credit card, and now she's just loading up on mojitos with it.
No, we converted. There's free mojitos.
She's wearing a sombrero right now, for sure.
She's stolen a sombrero because she has fair skin. But no, we converted our dollars to pesos, and I think with 300 pesos, I'd be able to buy like an entire truckload of those blankets. So
especially
that's
with their
what's
socialist government now.
I mean,
the inflation's got to be.
It's all about negotiating.
Yep.
They're probably rationing those right now at this point. The blankets.
Probably so.
I would think so. Just like they have to do with the taquitos.
Yeah.
All right. Is that all you have?
Yeah, that's all I have.
That's it. All right. Well, this has been fun. I'm excited you guys were all here. I want to share a really quick story. I don't know why I didn't tell it a couple weeks ago, but I just now finally has made my radar to tell it or to remember to tell it. Back on July 3rd, they had the Libertarian Convention was finishing up, the national convention, and Sarah had been giving me hell. Are we going to buy our package this thing or not? And this is like back in October, November of last year, and I'm like, you don't know, but we're getting engaged, and we're not going to be going to that. So I dodged the question because it happened that first weekend in July, and we got married the next week or the next weekend. The Chris Spangle, we're libertarians, are the godfather of all of us, our boss. He flew down, did a bunch of interviews, and they were great. I really enjoyed listening to those. Interviewed Nick Sarwark when he got re-upped, and there's a lady named Mary Ruart who nominated Chris Spangle from the floor for the Libertarian National Convention. Now, Chris has never served on the National Convention. He's the executive director and at the National Committee, and he's been on the State Central Committee, and Chris got nominated. And then Mary went up, and I messaged Chris because I was watching it on the YouTube feed, and I'm like, you really want to do this? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. It was a surprise to me, but I'll do it. Okay. Mary realized she nominated the wrong guy named Chris, so she withdrew his nomination. And I'm like, I watched it happen, and I messaged him, like, I'll fix this. So Michael Schulteis was still in the room. Spangle had flown back home. So he was at the convention for 2 days, and on the last day, a lot of people leave early. So he flew back home, landed in Indianapolis, and he's just finding out he's been nominated. And then at that moment, he gets withdrawn from nomination. So I'm like, Spangle, we need to make this right. So I messaged Michael Schulteis, he's a member. He was still down there in the hall. And I told him, you got to go to the microphone right now and renominate Chris. So he goes back to the microphone again, nominates Spangle. This is all, in front of 800 people and the entire YouTube feed. And then somebody else sends a message in and says, no, Chris doesn't want to do it. So then they withdraw Chris again and take him off the ballot. So he didn't get elected to the Libertarian National Committee at the convention. And I feel very sad about that because I think he would have been great for it. Mm-hmm. But apparently, between Chris, Michael, myself, Rick Irvine, and Mary Ruart, we had the greatest troll in the entire convention, which is saying something because I totally hate every one of the people from Michigan that spoke. All of them can leave the party at any time because they're clowns. But we artfully trolled them all accidentally. So that was fun. So anyway, if you go back and watch that, it was a couple weeks ago. But the Libertarian National Committee, they had their deal. Congratulations to Sam Goldstein, who was the highest vote getter for at-large in the LNC. So he won that. And Arvin Vora, we've talked about him a number of times. He lost horrifically back on July 3rd, and he's no longer in the LNC. So the big stain on the Libertarian Party is gone, and we're going to be okay.
Good move.
That's all. That's all we got. We will. We see you guys next week. Will be episode number 70, and we're scheduled to have Lee Markham on, Jack's Donuts. So that's going to be really cool. Looking forward to having Lee on.
That's a local donut place?
Well, they're local, but now they're all over the country. They're in Utah. They started right here in Newcastle.
Nationwide.
But they're nationwide, and they're franchising, and there's probably, we'll find out from Lee next week, but probably 25 or 30 locations. They're all over Indianapolis. They're a sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
Oh.
Started right here in
Where have I been?
I don't know. I guess hiding out in Richmond.
Yeah.
So listen next week.
I'll listen next week to that.
All right, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at wearelibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to wearelibertarians.com, and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.